Hi, it's Jenny from A Stamping Journey. Thank you for joining me. I have another great fun fold card for you today. It's a fold flat card. That's what I call it anyway. It's a little box section here. It will fold flat so you can easily post it. Just keep in mind that it's a little bulky, so it will affect your postage. But you can decorate it however you'd like. I'm using the beautiful butterflies. I've got another version to show you, but let's go step by step. I'll share the measurements in metric and imperial. But if you'd like the written tutorial, I'll send that out in next week's newsletter. I send out a tutorial each week for my lovely crafting friends for inspiration. So you can find the details of that in the description on YouTube. So let's get started of what you'll need. You'll want to have a piece of cardstock. This is a half a sheet. It's cut on the vertical. So the measurements would be 29.7 centimeters by 10.5 centimeters. I've scored that at 14.8 centimeters. I've already done that. In imperial, it would be 11 inches by 4¼ inches. Score at 5½. It's a standard size card base. It's just cut vertically. For the box section, you want it at 10.5 centimeters by 12 centimeters, or 4¼ inches by 4¾ inch. I'll go through the scoring of that shortly. You can decorate how you want. You might want some paper there, or I've used white card with the embossed butterflies. I'll show you some tips with that at the moment. So white card for inside. Your inside white would be 10.1 centimeters by 14.4 centimeters, or 5 3/8 inch by 4 1/8 inch. Some other white card, your piece that will go at the top. Whether you use paper card or paper, your measurements for this will be 10.1 centimeters by 12 centimeters, or 4 1/8 inch by 4 3/8 inch. And some paper pieces. This will go on the front and the top. You don't need to cover the rest of it, but these pieces, I'm using the florals in bloom paper. These strips, you'll want 2 of them. They will be 10.1 centimeters by 2.1 centimeters. You'll want 2 of those. I've just cut a piece so the pattern is the same. It doesn't really matter. For the imperial, that would be 4 1/8 inch by 7/8 inch. You'll want 2 of those. So let's get our card for our box section. That's what you'll need first. You'll want to score that. So you are going to score that on your long side. So bring that down. Let's hope that's in view. I'm going to go through the metric measurements for scoring first, then I'll do the inches. So this is on your 12 centimeter side. You're going to score that. Just line that up, make sure it's up against that track there. Move it along to 2½ centimeters. That is our first score line. Make sure the cutting blade is out of the way. You don't want to cut. So score it, give that a good run up and down 5 centimeters. 7½ centimeters, and 10 centimeters. So we have 2.5, 5, 7.5, and 10. So you'll find that they're evenly spaced along here. This end will just be that little bit shorter. In inches, so this is on your 4 3/4 side. You will score that at 1 inch, 2 inches, so slide it along, 3 inches, and 4 inches. So the same, these sections will be the same. You've got a 1 inch on each side, and you've got that little bit left over. We can get our trimmer out of the way now. We'll fold that shortly. What you want is get that piece that you're using for your front. If it's white card and you want to emboss it, grab your embossing folder. I'm using the beautiful butterflies folder. Now you'll notice I've got the butterfly at an angle. So you want to put your card, because I've actually overlaid that on the white embossed butterfly here. So you want to put that at an angle. So hopefully there's not too much reflection. Put it in here. You can see that it's straight there. So I want it at an angle. So just move your white cardstock until you're happy with having the angle position. Make sure it's not sticking out here, because that's going to get bent up. So keep looking, have a look. If you're happy with it that way, you can run that through your die cut machine now. So we'll just run and do that. So we have our white embossed piece. Just some tips if you're going to use the butterflies. I want to show you, I'm not going to show you the complete card to finish it, but just wanted to show some tips in using the butterflies if that's how you want to go. You want to stamp a butterfly. We're going to use our strawberry slush. That's the color for our base that I'm using. We're going to just stamp that up. My butterfly is a little bit stained from when I've used lots of ink, lots of stamping, but it'll still stamp up okay. So give that an ink. Now, if you love the butterflies, and if you missed my video with 5 ways with the beautiful butterflies, you can check that. I'll add a link, and you can find 5 different ways that I have used the butterfly on cards. I'm really loving this beautiful bundle. So pretty, these butterflies. Now give that a good press around. And we've got our detail butterfly. You can color that if you like. We're just going to cut that out. Now I'm using the dies. We can just cut that out, and we're going to layer that together. So I'll just go and run and do that. Okay, now I've already cut our pretty in pink detail butterfly. Look at the detail in that. Isn't that so pretty? You're going to adhere that over the top, and I have cut some little body parts for the butterfly too. That will get stuck over there. When you layer that, just layer so the antenna will fit over there. So it might need a little jiggling, and you can stick that down. And I've also cut out 3 little detailed butterflies too, with the body of it as well. So this will get added to the front with all those lovely butterflies. All right, but let's get back to this box part. We've been fiddling with this enough. So grab your box part again. Now, I don't think you can see those score lines, but what you're going to do is fold these score lines down. Each one, if you need to give it a good press, just get your bone folder and rub that down on each one to crisp up those folds. That's a big part of this standing up is just making sure these folds are quite crisp. So just by running over it with a ruler or your bone folder, you'll get those crisp folds. So you're going to fold that into a little box shape like that. You want that shorter tab on the end that will tuck inside. So you're going to stick that like that. So you can use tape, you can use your multi-purpose, whatever you'd like to use, and just run that down. I do usually use the multi-purpose, and it will work okay with the box, but you'll just want to hold it. The thing with the tape is you've got to take your time and gluing it. So just line up, fold that in, and if you hopefully you can see that, line that up with the edge, and when you're happy with it, then you can press it down. You want to have that fairly close. We've got a little bit off there, but that's okay. We'll go with that. Then what you want to do, grab your base. We're going to, that piece that you've stuck over there, you're going to, I'm going to use Tombow this time, add that to that section. And you'll want to put this to the bottom of it. So let's see that you can see that. This will go, you want to line up the bottom of that box to the bottom edge of your card. So just have a look at where you can see that I'm lining up the bottom edge of the box with the bottom edge of the card, and that it's sitting within the sides as well. So just, you can give that a little wiggle when you're happy with that. That's why I like using the multi-purpose glue, because you can let it slide. So we're just going to hold that down to hold that in position. Just stick that down. So this is what gives you your box shape for the front. So you're going to fold that on the score line there, and then this, I won't bend it too much at the moment because it's still sticking. We don't want to move it out of place, but like I've shown you before, that will easily fold flat. Did I mention to add a little bit of sparkle onto those butterflies with your wink of Stella maybe? That would be really nice in those parts. All right. So now we've got this part done. Let's bring our pieces of paper. You can do this before you stick that down if you want. But I'm just going to do that now. We'll put this away. So add some adhesive here. Just so this will go to the top of your panel. Just slide that on here. So just make sure that's centered. That will go on here. Watch out for that glue there. Right. Center that piece. So then it's just lovely to decorate the front and the top of the box part. Now, add your sentiment. What I'm going to do is, if you notice, I have a little black edge on our sentiment piece. I'm using the Happy Birthday from the Beautiful Butterflies. Grab our black ink, and I'm going to just show you a tip with how to get that extended piece. I'm using the long die in the Beautiful Butterflies. So I want to show you that little tip of how you can get that, and you can do that with any die or punch shape. So we've got our Happy Birthday. Those out of the way. I'm just going to run that through our die cut machine, line that up, and I'm going to cut a piece with a black as well. All right, we have a black piece and our happy birthday. Now what you can do is cut out a die off the with black, or it could be glimmer paper, it could be a coordinated color. You're going to cut that in half, and then you can just add some adhesive and stick that behind your white, and that little bit of color just add something extra to your sentiment. So just make sure it's lined up straight. We'll do this the same. Just make sure you got the even amount peeking through. There's our little happy birthday. So we'll bring our card back in. We'll put those aside. I'll finish that later. There's our fold flat card. Don't forget to decorate that on the inside. I've just added some more butterflies on the inside here. What do you think? Let's have a look at another version I did some time ago. This one is with the loveliest tree stamp set. I've added some pattern paper to the top part of these and just had some little trees hanging off there. They're a little bit fragile, so just be careful of that if you're going to add any elements that are higher up here. But that will fold flat to send that out. I haven't decorated that inside as yet. Is this a card you would make? Let me know. I'd love to hear about it. If you need any supplies to make one and you're in Australia, you can stop by my store. If you love fun fold cards and need more inspiration, be sure to subscribe to my channel on YouTube, and you can catch videos regularly as I send them out to you, hopefully to inspire you. But thanks for stopping by today. Have a happy crafting day. Bye.